I woke up feeling like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, but when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? And now we can talk. Oh, what kind of soup? Oh, you don't know yet, right? You'll get there. And the journey begins. Well, continues. It's never ending. It never ends. No, seriously, it never ends. You're never going to get everything done. You're never going to do everything you want to do. You're never going to see everything you want to see or know everything you want to know. And it's okay. Once you're okay with that, life gets a little more relaxed. It's a flow. We're in a river of life. It's not a bunch of little goalposts that we have to keep slamming into. Unless we want to set it up that way, but that's a lot more stressful. Yes, I look at it, well, I've looked at it a million different ways because, of course, you know, at my age, I've had lots of opportunities. I noticed for me, growing up, it was always September. September became the deeply provocative thinking time That's when I could get melancholic, although that usually going off into October. But September was very symbolic because things were really happening. September was when our public schools reopened. Your new school year began the first week of September, right after Labor Day, and you had all summer to just try and figure out stuff that you never figured out anyway. You go to school and realize nobody else figured it out either, and the people you thought had it figured out actually were pretty far off base, so you're not doing so bad. Ah, I only had a couple that were really. Okay, every summer break there was something, but mine were rather dramatic as a child. Like I ran away from home in my 15th summer and my 16th winter. Oh, yeah, that's it, because everything's new. Everything is a brain explosion. Everything is overwhelming. Well, not necessarily overwhelming, but bigger than life. Because it's your first opportunity to experience those things, those feelings, those tastes, those sights, sounds, all of it, you know. It's a lot for the brain to take on. And it's still going on. I mean, it never ends. As long as your brain is still functioning and you're absorbing something, then, you know, you're vibrating. So, yeah, you're still happening. But when you're younger, you have to develop those regulatory filters in your brain, right? To not overreact when you see or feel certain things. Like, oh, yeah, I recognize that. But you have to go through it at least once to know it, to recognize it. So the first time is the most dramatic. You will. You will. That's what I was going to say is what I discovered finally is that literally every day when I wake up, it's a new start. And I can program it that way. Or I can just go, la-di-da-di-da, go to sleep and don't think about the next day. Excuse me, but the next day's inevitably better when I prepare for it the night before. That's why I use those minutes before falling asleep and when you're just waking up and you're not fully on earth yet. Those are good windows into yourself, those times, and a good time where you can program yourself and say, all right, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and I'm going to find more reasons to be motivated to do this or that. If you just try to talk yourself into something, it becomes bullshit. It's not what you want. You're looking for feelings. So, you know my stories about going to the grocery store. Where else do I go? Grocery stores or labs, right? So I know when I'm going to be going to a store most of the time. I've got advance notice. So the night before, I always want to meet somebody interesting or humorous. I want a humorous conversation. And when I got more definitive, like I want somebody to take me out for a cup of coffee, that happened literally the next day after I said that's what I want to happen. So I didn't know who it was going to be. I didn't ask the universe to set me up with a specific person. I didn't even make a specification as far as male or female. I wanted an interesting conversation and something relaxed and like, hey, can I take you out for a cup of coffee? And that's exactly what happened. So we set these things up in advance. We're not in a position to judge how far in advance at this time, but you just have to know that what you're conscious of, like me looking for something in the global market of SimCity. If I'm like looking at it, I want this, it takes forever to find it. But when I say I want this, and then I go on to something else, and I get kind of I just turn around and bam, it's there. It's your vibration. It's your vibration. It's your vibration. So whatever you want to experience, start asking the universe to show you the way. One step at a time. Stay fluid. You have an exciting adventure in front of you, whichever way you go. There's no wrong choice. There literally is no wrong choice. I mean, unless you do something stupid and, nuts outside of your character and puts you in a position of confinement that you can't live your life, that would be a bad position. But other than that, when it comes to education or jobs, friendships, love affairs, housing, choices of food, and all of that stuff is more arbitrary than you think. You want certain feelings from each experience. Focus on that. Oh, we are waiting for it. We're supposed to have heavy rain. Well, as long as you have everything, like your books, as well wrapped for the journey in the rain, or you have, it's not going to be easy to walk with your parents, everybody carrying a box and an umbrella. One at a time, just like we do. How do you think I moved across the street? I had my little shopping cart. Most of my stuff was moved into here with a shopping cart that I had to keep filling in my apartment and walking all the way up a long driveway to the street, across a 4-lane highway, 4 lanes, yeah, 4 lanes, and then up the elevator 6 floors and all the way at the end of the hall. Believe me, it was a journey. No, it won't, but that's why you have to learn to strengthen your core for your own well-being. You need these muscles strong. So just remember to use your body properly when you're lifting these things, or you will hurt more. And then at the end of every couple of hours, just lay on the floor for a few minutes and put your feet up on the wall. Your legs up on the wall. The closer you can get your ass to the wall, the better. But don't overstretch. But that'll help stretch out your lower back and, flatten your pelvis. You can sense you don't want any space between the back of your lower back and the floor. That's when you tilt your pelvis. I know it's not really when you tilt your pelvis against the floor, you feel your lower back touching the floor. That's what you want to do to help take the stress off your lower back. No, it doesn't, but that's because you got a weak back. Sitting weakens the back. That's a fact. So that's why you have a weak back. And that's common with students who are not active in some kind of physical training, or at least doing Tai Chi alone in their room. You have to do something to stabilize your core, or all of this stuff is going to really haunt you when you get older, as someone who has a rod in her back can attest to. I was only 21 when I had major surgery. You never know what might happen, and one of the ways to protect the spine is by strengthening the muscles that hold it up. The spine doesn't hang up there by itself. It's the muscles that keep it all together. Otherwise, it's a jiggly bunch of vertebrae, a little jelly cord going down the center. Very fragile. So actually, it's the muscles. That's why they call it the muscle to hold you. And you can just do very simple exercises, even sitting down. Strengthening your lower back, you can do. And not today, because you'll be more sore tomorrow. But it's something you should definitely aim to do over the summer, especially if you plan on doing any kind of gardening, or if that's how you end up. No, I'm saying every 2 hours, like just going through the day. If you start to feel yourself getting too tired in your lower body, if you haven't strengthened it enough yet, then just take a minute out on the floor. Get your legs up, get your pelvis down, flatten it out, and stretch your skeleton, and you'll feel the relief. And then you get back up and go back to whatever you're doing. It doesn't take long. You can even do some of it in your bed, but it works better and faster if you do it on the floor with a wall. Now, some of that stuff, by the way, I learned too late in life. Well, not too late, but late in life. Later than I should have learned, because they took me out of exercise in the 7th grade. that I should have been getting different kind of exercise, but that's not what they were focusing on. They were focusing on taking all the weight off my body and not going to gym, not bowling, no, nothing. And that was a big screw up on the medical side. So I started a project in the kitchen and then I screwed it up because when I tried to record again on the phone, it did that horrible sound thing. Like the sound was sped up to, it sounded like tape being pulled. It was terrible. I finally heard it thanks to Maui. Oh, we've got too many. I need a safe place for this. Maybe. Let's go ahead and, oh, it's got sparkles in it. Let's go ahead and make a little wash. Clean that up. And do this at the same time. Now, some of these little particles are not going to dissolve, but we're going to go with that. Like that. I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm not going to let it bother me. Now, this is a little risky, but every time it falls on the floor, it gets lost. I lose a little bit more of that. All right, let's get the excess off. There we go. Nice thing about a square canvas is you can turn it any way you want. So I meant for it to go that way. Could it look better on its side than it did facing up the way you thought it was going to be. That's strange. Now we'll just let you dry. If you heard that, that was my shoulder. Afraid of moving things downstairs. What time are they going to get there? I mean, you can start doing that before they get there tomorrow and get well rested tonight. Well, certainly don't put your most valuable books on top. Okay, use your intuition in the moment. After your soup, you'll know. That's pretty early. That's lunchtime here. It's coffee time here right now. Do they go to church first? If you're not well rested, you're just setting yourself up for exhaustion and a bad back tomorrow. Don't start. You make sure your body is taken care of. You feed it, you rest it. That gives you strength. I know. I had the same face in mind. I was being politely sarcastic. I know better. Can one be politely sarcastic? I don't know. There's some weird color in here. Smoky orange. Yeah, I think that one works. Yeah, I think that's about the best one. I don't know if we're looking at the same ones, but a bunch of them, I've got no idea who created those characters or why. Oh, I like this one. Okay, I love soup. Here we go, on the way, hippity hop to the soup shop. I don't have a soup song or a soup song. Okay, orange did not go well. Unless I do something different. My backfield, I have painted a few ways. One of my favorite sunset sticks was walking across the field with the dogs and looking at our neighbor's farmhouse and on all the pine trees. And we'd see the sun going down behind those pine trees, and it would just blaze under those trees. Of course, it made them look really dark. And I kind of lightened them up there, though. And wonderfully, I have an east-facing window that just captures the sunrise beautifully. And I am up at sunrise most days. And I've gotten a few spectacular photos through the trees. And some of them with that intense, my lips are drunk, my intense orange. In fact, that happened just the other day. That reminds me, there's a little cutie here on YouTube who uses subliminal suggestions, meditations, stuff I like, you know. I go listen to her channel at least once a month. And she does one thing I really enjoy because it's very much psychology. If you do it right, you'll get accurate interpretations. Of course, she's got some experience, although she is one of those little cute blonde-haired, blue-eyed, indeterminate age chickies. But I love her spirit. She absolutely is one of those people who wants to do good in the world, and I really love that. What's her name? Mary Kay or Mary Kate? MK. I remember that being in her signature. She does this one thing every month, and I'd say it's worth going over there to check it out. I don't always agree with her exact interpretations, but I'm not there to judge. I'm there to check out what she is offering so I get insight into myself. Well, a lot of the time she shows these 4 pictures, 4 photos. They're all pretty cool. And whichever one you're most attracted to is the one that you want to focus on, while she will tell you whatever one you know, what the psychology is behind that particular attraction. She does it in a way of like, this is what's coming for the month, though. I don't like that predictive stuff. But she is giving an accurate portrayal of people's headsets in the moment and, you know, take it from there. A lot of times I like all of them. I know what she's asking for, but, you know, I'm already like 2 people, so I usually pick out 2. This month, there was one that, bam, it was like, yep, that's it. I already know that one. And it looked like a thing in space, red. So, what do they call it? Kind of like a star being born. Very, not very colorful, just red and white and black. But it was one of those things that hits you or it doesn't. And I realized there was another image that was very much my old self that I thought, oh, you know, I would have probably picked that like 10 years ago. Now it doesn't appeal to me at all. So I thought that was it was definitely the best I've gotten from her monthly pick-a-picture things. But it's fun and it's insightful, and she does good interpreting, so go check her out. She's here on YouTube. She does subliminal messaging with different sounds behind it. I listen to a bunch of that kind of stuff, but I'm trying to remember. I don't know if she does one with rain behind it. Maybe. I usually go listen to rain. I love rain. My son likes trains. We all have some sound that we find soothing, and I prefer rain to ocean. See? Don't go spreading. I just want your oranginess right there. There we go, that's a little better. We need a little bit more vermilion there. Let's have some vermilion. Make that really brilliant, huh? Maybe I'm getting carried away. I like mixing colors on the canvas. Not that much on the canvas. Gonna have to redo those trees. I got too enthusiastic with the background, which I should put in first, but I just don't work that way on these cards for some reason. That's why I do not say I'm giving art lessons. I'm not. You can see the mistakes I make right before your very eyes. What I am making is unserious art to entertain two very old people whom I care about. My more serious stuff is, although I do some serious stuff in watercolors, mixed media is my favorite thing. Meaning, I like a lot of stuff on the canvas, different papers, paints, things, tiles, clay, toilet paper, it just depends. Like toilet paper can be a lot of fun. Just give me an idea. Okay, that clatter is my coffee cup lid. Protects it from splashes and keeps some of the heat in. Okay, that gummy I had is working. Hello, Gary. Yes, hello, Gary. How are ya? Happy Saturday. They got you working in the coal mines? Now I remember what I was reaching back here for. That very toilet paper I was just referring to. Now remember, tomorrow, oh, I see there's messages. Even, yes, even the odd toe. And Toblerone is an odd toe. We do have to admit that. Are you at the soup place? Ah, the day in bed. Oh yeah, well you definitely bust your butt at work, honey. And you're right there with people in your face constantly. That is the hardest thing to do. I have known many people who would rather find a job on second or third shift available than have to be on first shift and deal with humans face to face all day. Because humans are not known for their niceness or politeness when it comes to going shopping for some reason. I don't know. Americans, anyway. We are. We are. I mean, even though I haven't been to Europe, I just cannot imagine most civilized people acting the way Americans can in stores. Oh, dear. Well, I think you're getting some cold coming in soon. I think some Arctic blast is headed south. I know there's supposed to be like freezing temperatures reaching down into Alabama. thinking. I don't usually work this way. All right. Well, everything's an experiment, right? Let's experiment. Damn. Let's still show you right. Yes, yes. Everyone I've ever met visiting from another country has always been the best customer, nicest to your face, always polite. Sure, there are some that would rather not talk at all. Rich and I, when we visited Boston, ran into some Dutch people, and we had to share the same stone bench at the market. And I'm friendly, and knowing that, I didn't recognize the accent. It's like, oh man, another tourist, cool. Where are you from, kind of a thing. But before I said anything, Richard guessed where they were from and the attitude they would have about communicating with strangers. And he was 100% right. That's not their favorite thing to do. They're way more reserved than Americans. Woohoo! Okay. It's doing what I want. A little clumsily, but yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think they're worse. And again, it depends. It depends. Whenever I have been in Florida, I have been 90% of that time within the villages, within this make-believe community that these people have created with a bunch of golf courses and golf carts stitching them all together. Add soup, okay. What is today's selection and what have you chosen? I just bought a whole bunch of soup, including a few I've never had, never heard of, and thought, well, I never had them and never heard of them, so I haven't tried them yet, but they're there for emergencies when I need a can of soup instead of making some from scratch. Well, drink it and piss it right out. I guess he is in the right place. Was he afraid someone was going to drink it on him? Or he's already had so much of it, he kind of forgot where he was going. It's a bean soup. Okay. What kind? White bean? I have heard that white bean soup's very popular in Italy and Spain. Hey, I'm collecting white beans now. I got white beans in cans without flavor, some with an extra flavor. One is Southern style. I love butter beans. Oh, That is one bean besides a barbecue bean that we grew up with the sweet red sauce. I will go ahead and just cook up a can of those beans and then throw something else in. That's the main course. So good. I guess so. Well, not well is busy, if you know what I mean. That's kind of, I think it's illegal. Oh no, okay, the bean soup. I thought you were talking about the guy who went into the bathroom with his beer. I'll pass on that. All right, what I just did was squeeze a little bit of white glue in there into a drop of water. I'm going to add to that some of this green paint, because if I just use plain water to hold the paper down on paper, it's drying, and as it dries, it's lifting. And that's what we don't want. So let's reestablish contact, paper to paper, in a more permanent way. Touch of glue. It's like magic. Look at that. Bam. You're there forever, sucker. Ooh. Now see? A little bit of toilet paper. Oh no. And where's my tweezers? Hello, hello. Luckily I've got backup. Oh, they're right there. Yeah, I would hope not, Charlie. You have common sense, whereas my brain was not going in that direction. It went right into the naughty lane. It does that from time to time. Ooh, let's try pre-squashing it. Oh, no, too squashy. Oh, you like them too, Gary. We're talking about the beans again, right? I hope. Okay, let's see if we can make this work without it being too crazy. Just stay there. Now, my friend took me to the grocery store yesterday so I could pick up a couple of items that my delivery service gave to somebody else when they accidentally traded off our bags. Just one bag. They got a bag of my stuff and I got a bag of theirs. Unfortunately, what I got from them was nothing I really wanted. I finally also finished giving all that away. Okay. Needs a little salt, huh? Well, you know what? If you cook beans properly, they don't toot as much as if you cook them wrong. Also, if you're tooting too much, you probably didn't cook them enough, or with a little bit of baking soda, or cook them long enough. They have to break down so that you can digest them. So they can be tricky, but there's shortcuts. There's ways to make things cook faster. Now people are really into buying one pot I will not be buying a one pot, but it's nice to see more people taking control of their kitchens. I'm really enjoying that because they're getting that because doing a lot of good cooking. Usually I use some kind of smoky product to salt my food. No, I think I'll leave that there and bring the sun over a little. Well, honestly, I'm learning more about these things because nothing I eat was cooked when I was growing up. My family had a completely different diet than what I do now. Well, not 100% completely. We had a few things in common, but basically, I don't cook like them. So I'm learning about things that they never learned about in the first place to teach any of us kids. And when I was super busy taking care of a husband, the farm, and all the dogs and all that, I really didn't give a shit about what I cooked as long as I put together a decent meal. It had all the stuff, you know, to balance itself. But I wasn't busy learning new recipes. I was learning how to preserve the food we were growing. I was learning how to make herbal medicine and growing my own herbs. I was learning that kind of stuff. But a lot of stuff, again, even in my neighborhood, where they were big on dried beans because they grew a lot of field peas, and I discovered I don't like field peas. A field pea is really just a kind of a bean, a dried bean, but you can do them in the field because they don't grow the same way others. They grow little bushy things. And then other beans like scarlet runner beans that are grown a lot for the flowers produce an edible bean, but they go on a vine, so you need a place they can vine. You know, everybody's got a different growing habit. But they were big on the field peas because they had fields. And you go out there and scatter that stuff around and just keep your chickens out until everybody took root. And there wasn't much to it. And they just had to gather it all, you know, and thrash it all out. And I grew them because my neighbor grew them, and I went into the feed and seed and picked up my pounds of beans and sowed them like they did when they did, gathered them like they did, and just ugh. I did not enjoy them at all. So after a couple of pots that I made for me and Glenn, I just took all the rest of it and gave it to my neighbors because they loved them. Like, okay, I found I don't. So I will grow something different next year. But beans are really important. Not only are they a wonderful source of protein, you can keep them. Just dry them out. You don't have to do anything else to them. Just dry them until they're hard as a rock. Bag them up in some place that we're not going to sweat, and put them away. They will last all winter. You can just eat them all winter. You don't have to worry about them spoiling. And that's important when you're, especially in where you live, Gary. Your humidity level is astronomical in the summer, as was mine in North Carolina. It was just terrible. I hated living on the field the way I did in the summer. Glenard. You know what was really wonderful the other day? I realized I was trying to remember something about when I was married to him, and I couldn't remember. Because I don't think about him like I did. For a long time after the divorce, you know, every morning when your body's trying to wake you up with anxiety, I was thinking of him, of course, or thinking of the woman he cheated on me with. And of course, my blood pressure would go up, and I'd get up and go, all right, shut that up. And I love thyme. I just bought some. I bought a plant, and oregano. And lemon thyme is one of my favorites. I got a bottle of that from a local farm. But I just bought regular thyme. They didn't offer. I was at the grocery store and I grabbed it. And yesterday I repotted it. So it has a better chance of succeeding. I have to get a bag of soil though, and another larger pot. I remember those days, Gary. I remember those days. Damn. I remember those summers laying on the floor in front of the air conditioner with the dogs. All of us would be on our backs, like, please. It was 104 degrees inside. Yeah, that was when I hated the South. Like, no offense to the South, but you're killing me. What was oregano? Oregano actually makes an antibacterial tea. Oregano oil kills even HIV virus in petri dishes because that's very concentrated. Oregano is one of the original medicines, natural medicines as well. I mean, you can gargle with it. Yeah, you can gargle with it. But you know what, when called slow medicine, if you use medicinal herbs, which are also delicious, most of them, if you just use them in your normal cooking, you're getting a steady stream of good stuff for your body. It's supporting your body. So you don't have to take capsules of it. It doesn't vibe as a tea. No, oregano is more like a medicinal tea. I would not drink oregano as a straight tea. I just bought some fresh oregano and is drying right now. Also bought some sage. I can't believe what they charge for sage. So, I mean, in a jar, it's like, are you kidding me? The way it grows, give me a break. But then again, we don't know how they're growing them anymore. I can tell you though, the oregano was grown in dirt. In sandy dirt. It had so much sand on it. I was, until like last night, I'm like taking it apart and going wham, 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 and taking out a bunch of grit. It's like, oh, this is worse than spinach. There we go. I need this grayish, brownish, darkish, bluish, ishy color here for some distance work. One thing though that's a good idea, very likely, oregano also repels a bunch of different pests that attack other plants. Oregano is one of those things that you plant near tomatoes, for example. It'll help improve the flavor and it protects the tomatoes. So it's not a bad idea to have oregano in all different parts of your garden. I think it's a bit strong for tea. Unless, like I said, I used to make my own cough medicine. Not because I had a cough, because friends of mine have suffered chronic bronchitis. And I used a cold water, distilled water tincture with a shot of vodka in a quart. And I can't remember all the herbs that I used, but it tasted good, and definitely not something I would say drink it, other than a spoonful of it at a time. Even though it was like water, it stopped my friend's bronchitis coughing, and he went berserk because nothing had been helping him. And that's really funny, because the other day I was reading about one of those medicines, like one of those herbs rather. It's a common one, maybe it was thyme, how it helps stop the cough reflex or something. It's like, I gotta look that up again. I don't worry about those things too much anymore, because things that make me cough are not what made me cough years ago. So my approach is a little different these days. All right, we need a gray-green. There we go, gray-green. Just scribbing some color in here. Like I'm gonna have to do my orange all over again. Come here, you. How is the soup, Charlie? Yummy yum? Need salt, you said. That is one thing. Beans, rice, they need a deceptive amount of salt. In the old days, I tried making rice without salt because at that point, I had read so much about the bad things about salt, I was paranoid because my father had high blood pressure and everyone around me was dying of this or that. It was like, watch the salt. What a mistake. And I learned, no, you have to use salt in making good rice, or the rice won't absorb the water well enough, and also it'll be the flattest. Ugh. So I have learned sometimes you just can't avoid it. You have to use some salt. Mid, Well, tell them it's so long but not farewell. They're probably too busy to mourn your loss, but no doubt the nicer people there will think of you. Look forward to your next visit. Well, you've got one at home. That's the nice thing about cafes. Just before I moved here, one opened downtown. Think, oh, thank God. No, those look too dark. You're supposed to be far away. I should put something in front of it. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this one, because the only thing I'm going to do with it is write a note. And by the way, when I write a note on the back of these, the letters have to be big enough for 99-year-old people to see. So it's not like I write a lot. I do know they get a kick out of what I'm sending, but I think I spend way too much time on it. Oh, that's right. We call gossip tea. Well, Charlie knows that because he was the one that was right there when I spilled the tea, if I remember. When I spilled it all over one of my cockadoodles. Yeah, you remember. What did you post it under? He went right to social media with my mistake. Granny spills the tea. Oh, it is. I was right. Grandma spills the tea. That's hilarious. I don't even belong to Reddit. I think it was the cockadoodle that was a success. I really need to repost the one dedicated to Bezos. And then the one for Musk. Number one prick. Rocket. They can fight over which one they think it's for. I sent one of those cockadoodles to Meg. Actually, she ended up purchasing 2 of them. And I was never going to break up the set, but not many people appreciate that art. Make go look. Oh, is that the title of it? This is not blending. I don't like the not blending. We need more color up there. Should we go with rosy? Maybe more of a purpley. What the hell? It's only a note card. I'll throw some more extreme color in there. And my artist stepfather, not artist, appreciator of art, will go, what did she do here? I think you could do this. You can, I'm not going to auction it off, but when you know where you're settled, my dear, I will send it to you. I'll send you one. I see there's, okay, someone texted me. Just give me a second here. I'll see who said what. I do like these brushes. Oh, if you deleted that Reddit account, it probably went with it, I would think. Oh, it's Doc. Hello, Doc. Oh, he made a beautiful picture of me where I look a lot more like my mother than normal. Although my mother had dark hair. Me, as a 38-year-old with somebody else's hair and body. Thank you, Maui. Are you here? Yeah, there you are. No, I don't think so. I couldn't delete my Twitch account completely for some reason. I think my Streamlabs was attached to it, or there's some reason I did not completely delete it. Matter of fact, I ended up with a follower last week, and I haven't broadcast on Twitch in a month or 2, so that was weird. Aloha. No, no to what? Uh-oh. I washed my hair with soap today, and it looks like 3 shades lighter, and it's so feathery. I don't know what to do with it. You're not the, oh, you're not here. Shh, shh. I won't tell anybody. We'll pretend you are. I mean, we'll pretend. No, we'll just pretend. Something. So what are y'all up today? Charlie's all packed. He's out having soup for Din Din. You have something to munch later in the night or first thing in the morning? Gear up for the move back to the house. I think I'm going to really just mess this up with a good dark. Yes, let's go with dark. Gary's here. No, Doc isn't here. Doc is playing hide and seek with his cat. Whoopsie. Wrong brush. Let's put the right brush in to work. It's a drag one. Ooh, that's getting nice and gooey. You just found out now? How are you, honey? About what, Gary? Luop was one of our regulars on Twitch, and she just found out I'm here instead. Well, welcome. How is it going for you? Have you been giving your cameras a good workout? She's a marvelous photographer. Oh no. Oh. Yeah, it's my way of saying screw you to Mr. I can afford to buy Venice for my wedding. And I'm sorry you're not feeling well, my dear. I'm still making note cards for my little old people. Gloria is just a couple months shy of 99 years old now. And my stepfather, since I've last seen you, has entered a nursing home. He was just there for in rehab for the last 2 weeks with pneumonia, and he took a fall, so we're working on his balance. But he's 95. So I send him a painting at least once a week, and Gloria at least twice, try for 3 a week. Of course, with the postage, what it costs these days, it's almost £1 per letter. So I'm not doing one a day like I was. I just can't afford it. Now I've got to let this dry before I do the toilet paper trick again. Well, I'm glad you found us. A lot of letters. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, paintings. Oh, yes. I've done over 500 now. And I will be honest, when I started doing them for Gloria, she was getting one a day, so she got 7 paintings a week. But I didn't start until the day after she was diagnosed with stage 4 bone cancer. And it was that diagnosis that I felt I want to add to her life, however long it's going to be, because when you're 97, stage 4 cancer usually means you're not going to be around for more than a few months. And not that I'm hurrying her to the grave. Believe me, I'm grateful that she's still around. But I did not imagine that I would be doing a painting a day for a year and a half before she went into a nursing home, and I had to start mailing them. So, yeah. Yeah, yeah. That was quite some time ago. So, yeah, that's a lot. Okay, I think I'm going to take advantage of my little water repellent plastic here. And I am going to create trees. But I have to do a paint that's going to stick, so we're going to use some glue. Well, I'm glad she's strong and she's in good spirits. People here ask about her all the time. The problem is, though, so much of her body isn't working anymore. And so she's not able to enjoy her life as much, and that's what sucks. You got it, baby doll. And don't forget, we'll be back in the morning, but you should be home by the time I go online tomorrow morning. And you can tell me all about it. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. I'll be back in the morning, you can count on me. Good night, Charlie. Oh. They're right next to you, my dear. They're next to you. Oh, 97, what a great age. But hard. But it depends, we're so different. So different. There's the 98-year-old who is still active, trying to do things, and then there's the 98-year-old who's stuck in bed doing nothing because they can no longer see or hear well enough to enjoy things they used to see and hear and enjoy. So, yeah. But Gloria is doing so well. Apparently, the medicine they gave her for the cancer has stalled its progression. She's not in pain, which of course is the greatest blessing. Last thing you want is someone you care about to be in pain. Yeah, see, Gloria does not look anything the same as she used to, but her attitude, her ability to understand what's going on, sharp as a tack. She is not the person you want to mess with. She worked in a bank for 35 years, It was her first job out of high school. They hired her at 18. She had retired for a while to get married and have children, went back to the same bank. They just adored her there. She's easy to love. Outlived 2 husbands. Yep. She was married to a railroad man. I don't remember what he did. Maybe a conductor. And he passed to cancer. And she was with him, of course, right up to the end. And so was his best friend. And his best friend courted her after a while. He said, I saw how you loved my best friend and took care of him, and I want to be with you and have that with you. I'll be there to take care of you. But she outlived him. She had both marriages were 20 years long before they passed him. She survived them. She survived all but one child, all but one sibling. Well, now she's the only one of the siblings. Oh, that does help. Yeah, Gloria doesn't do a smartphone. My stepfather does. He's 95, but he doesn't like it. He doesn't like to respond to it. He will look at it, so I know he gets my messages. I say hello every day, most days. Right now I know he is in the process of going back to his room at the nursing home. So I'm not bothering him right now because he's one of those grumpy old men who's been grumpy his entire life. I think I'm one of the few people in the family who actually still likes him. But I also understand him. He's autistic, high-functioning autistic, has great difficulty with emotional anything. So, I get it. But we do not have any rich people in my family that I'm aware of anyway. If I have a rich family member, come forward and adopt me. No, I have everything I need, and I'm very happy, so I consider myself one of the very lucky ones. At least for the moment. Now things are kind of screwed up in America right now, as the world knows. This is not the place to be if you can avoid it. And people like me, we do not know what will happen if the crazy man at the helm lives long enough to destroy our Social Security, which we are making sure to the best of our ability does not happen. But we don't know what will happen. Oh. Oh, that sucks. When does your girlfriend get to be with you? Is it a seasonal thing, like a job or a school? Oh, yes, I am. It's the only platform I'm on. Although I had to keep my Facebook page. Lately, I've just gone to throwing some stuff up on the front page, but survival stuff, things to be aware of, that kind of thing. But I'm not interacting, and yeah, fuck Facebook. But if I close it out to get all together, I lose my game. And I've been playing that game for many years, and I don't want to lose it. Oh, oh, that's terrible. No, you need to get together. I did not go on Blue Sky today. I'm not there every day because I don't spend much time on social media, but whenever I come across something that I know people need to know for our political environment, mostly. Although I do repost artists occasionally. So yeah, I'll look for you. I subbed to you, so I should, I mean, I followed you, so I should see it. All right, I need to flatten this out. Oh, no, that's good paper. Good toilet paper. Well, I have had a big frustration here on YouTube. I have been wanting to do more videos from the kitchen, like I did last year, but then around Christmas time something changed. I don't know what it is, but now if I try to do a live stream with my phone, it comes out with me sounding like I'm a robot or something. It doesn't, it's not even, you can't even tell what I'm saying. It's horrible. And I've tried half a dozen times and I've had to delete all of those uploads because they're not tolerable. And I don't know how to fix that because I don't have a problem with this. So I don't know what's going on. Well, that'd be great. For the telephone? No. But that wasn't a problem before. Now it is. So I don't know what to make of that. I'd hate to have to buy another piece of equipment. I do notice how a lot of people are using those little fuzzy microphones. Looks like they're talking into a shaving brush. Some of them look way worse. Rich was going to start doing videos in Ireland, and he kind of gave up on that pretty fast. But he did get set up with something that moves so he could walk with it and it adjusts. I love that. I had no idea they had all that stuff that was so affordable. But he also got this microphone with the wind muff, and I have to say wind muff because it's like a huge poof. It's like, you know what that looks like, huh? Rude. It does look really rude, but I understand its use. This sound, the sound effect is like it's sped up. Like someone, I think Charlie described it as I sound like a chipmunk, but it's like even more, like the sound wave is being stretched out to the breaking point. It's really weird. Oh, that's good to know. So I need to get a mic that I can plug into my phone. And no, I won't go Bluetooth because I've already experienced Bluetooth. My hearing aids pick up my phone, so I can listen to music on my phone like it's a radio, which is what I often do. But I also noticed that at any point, one of the sides will go out, and I'm listening to only one side, and you've got to go through all kinds of little reconfiguring things or starting them over so that you can get both ears working. So no, I wouldn't do that for streaming. All right, Gloria will get a kick out of that. Just because it's dimensional. I'll write something sunny on the back. I'll have to look into it, but I don't think the problem that I'm experiencing doing live streaming via the phone is, I don't think the microphone or lack thereof is the problem. There's something else that changed. Now, YouTube was addressing some bug they found in an update, which is when I've started having a problem since their update. Unfortunately, one of the fixes they suggested was dumping the app and reloading it, re-downloading it, and I did that, which means there's no update I can cancel or get rid of. It's like now I'm stuck with it. So when I went online today, before I went live here, I sat around messing around with YouTube for a while, looking for what can I change. It sounds like it's on 10 times speed playback. It's that bizarre. And I couldn't find anything to make that kind of an adjustment. So I don't know what to do at this point. Just keep trying different fixes one at a time. But the reason I want to be able to go back in the kitchen is I have all kinds of things I want to make and show people how easy it is to do it. And I started to do it the other day, and then Doc did me a good favor, and he recorded 17 seconds of my cast and sent it over on Messenger, and it was like, oh my God, no, no, no. So it sounds so weird. I just had to stop what I was doing, but what I was doing was making rice crackers, and I already mixed up all the dough. But then I was so angry, not angry, I was just frustrated, and I just wanted to sit down. So I came here, and I sat down and started, doing these things again. And I forgot. I left the rice dough on the counter at room temperature, which is, you do not do that with rice. It has a bacteria that can multiply very fast, and it's very toxic. So I had to throw it away. And that was a bummer because I was not on my game, and I should have just refrigerated it immediately. But I sat here and painted while it sat on the counter, and when I went back out into the kitchen, it was like, oh no. Well, that was a waste of rice and coconut and sesame. So we're going to do it again. I've defrosted some rice, or I should say it's mostly still frozen. It's in the refrigerator defrosting. And I'm hoping I can get this figured out so I can show you how to make rice crackers out of leftover rice. Yeah, you said it like a chipmunk, but when I understood exactly what you were talking about, but it's worse than a chipmunk, don't you think? It's the worst sound I've ever heard coming out of a live video. Which was a bummer because we had a troll. Oh. And I was so excited to roll on the troll again. And it was ruined. Oh, that was a good cup of coffee. It definitely sounded awful. So I need to get that straightened out. I think I like that better. Okay. I can see a little bit of mica in here. It's not really glaringly iridescent at all. That's what it sounded like. Yeah, I shouldn't have been doing anything like that, but yes. Like I said, I understood what you were saying, but I hadn't heard it. And then Maui sent me a sample of it, and it was like absolutely unusable. I mean, I could slow my speaking down and lower my voice, and it still wouldn't work. You still could not make out what I was saying. Which are you talking about? This one? It's still drying, but of course I'll send you a picture. it doesn't really make sense, that painting, but like I said, I put way too much time in these, even though, you know,
I guess I'm just silly that way.
let's. Mm -mm -mm -mm. Mm -mm 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 -mm. Oh, we got some good purple here. Beautiful plum. This has become one of my favorite colors the last few years. You ever just get favorite colors that last for a while? Like there was the year Hunter Green. I really loved Hunter Green. And I did my bathroom in Hunter Green and burgundy. Did all the towels. It just looked so plush, so rich. And then I went with spring. I went with yellow and what was there with the yellow? I wanted things to be more sunshiny. You know, I can't remember. I didn't get to change things like towels and sheets very often, so I should remember them very clearly. I know I never used orange, but I did use sunshiny yellow until I had too much exposure to muddy dogs. Yeah, it's a beautiful color, but it is very dark, and it makes things look smaller. So I noticed that my bathroom, even though it was a garden bathroom, the master bedroom bathroom, when I went with the dark colors, it felt really cozy around winter holidays. It was like perfect for Christmas. It was just all the right, no, not the bright candy red and Kelly green. It was the more sophisticated shades. It looked really good and it felt good. But the bathroom absolutely felt smaller. And cause like I used to do my towels in a basket. I'd roll them up and stick them in a basket. So the basket next to the tub. So you didn't have to lean far if you needed another towel. Um, but yeah, it did have that cozy feeling. And then when I went with spring colors, it opened it up. And I decorated actually with the colors of, um, oh God, the stuff that grows on the trees down south. It was kind of like moss greens and beige and white and some pine green. Lichen. I used lichen colors. Nobody realized that at first, but it looked really good. With what cobalt? Dark cobalt. That sounds very dark. But I do like accent walls. My mother did one. She divided the master bedroom. I think it was after the divorce. She cheered herself up by doing something she always wanted. It was a lavender and then a darker lavender. So she had like one wall and the ceiling or something. I mean, she did a nice job actually. Um, when she allowed herself to express herself artistically, my mother did have a little bit more on the ball than some people thought. You'll have to take a picture for me, sweetie. A light hunter green is nice. Look, I like all colors. It's a matter of, well, let's say, like orange is a very happy color, and it can lift your mood, but I'm one of those people who look terrible in orange, and whatever color you paint your room is going to reflect on your skin. So there are colors I just stay away from because of the reflections in the room make me look like a piece of death, and I already look like that. So I don't do yellow walls, yellow clothes, or orange, or mustard yellow even though I absolutely love butter yellow. Well, that sounds interesting, Gary. You'll have to send pictures. Oh no, I think I'll use pencil. There we go. I've always had trouble imagining the layout of your house, although you showed me a windowsill, not the rest of the room it's in. So it's a little disorienting trying to put it together in my head. Oh my. That sounds good. Plum is a really nice accent color. I had a friend who did a whole wall in it. But it was her dining room, and she did one of those change of color, have like wainscoting. So like where the wainscoting would have been if it was actual wainscoting, she did one darker color and then lighter color above it. And then she decorated with painted grapes. Everything was grapes and plums. It was beautiful. All hand done. No, yellow is a good kitchen color. It's a happy color, it's a wake color, like wake up color. That would be a little nerve-wracking to have all through the house. I do love houses that are painted yellow, if it's the right shade of yellow, because if it has any green in it, making it more of a lemon yellow, I can't stand it. Actually, that irritates me, that color. But the warm yellow, like this that's a lot of lemon yellow. And I love all colors. It's not like I dislike it color, but here we go. That's the lemon yellow, and that is the medium, cadmium yellow medium. I love the cads. They're warmer. But as soon as you go here, it actually has some green in it. And it goes well with different blues. Not all of them. So yeah, it's a useful color, and I like it. But if I was going to paint anything around me a yellow, it would be more of those shades. Oh no, it's a very happy color. Red is angry. Red is any deep color like red, dark blue. Dark blue is known to be emotionally depressing and even agitating. People who surrounded by dark blue tend to be more depressed or get more depressed. Red can be, if you're in a good, happy frame, red can be a very happy color. But if you get angry, it's too easy to tie into that. Red, the vibe red is also our lowest chakra. It's where all the family ties are. That's where our anger, our passion, our lust, our love, all of that down there. But then when you start rising in color, orange to yellow, those get happier. Even though the orange one can be pretty screwed up because that's sexuality. A lot of people have sexual issues. So the orange chakra can be kind of cracked. In a manner of speaking, there's no way to actually crack the energy like that. Well, mustard yellow is a very depressing off color. Yeah, I would not have an area to rest on in that. Blech. I would probably go with a mint green, or what they use in jails, pink. Pink is actually a nervous system depressant color. So surrounding yourself with pink, if it's the wrong shade especially, can make you depressed. Oh, who did that? Was that Food Lion? Food Lion seemed like they did a lot of red and yellow. Highlighter yellow, that neon yellow, is like painful in large quantities, and it's not meant to be used in large quantities. It's supposed to be an accent. Yeah, that's nerve-wracking. And the thing is that people who study design, they learn about that kind of thing, and they should know better. But as we discovered in billboard industry, people who want a billboard made, a lot of them do not have a clue what makes a good billboard, which can be very effective advertising. But there are people who want so much of their ego out there. Yeah, Food Lion down south, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, they had if you went into a brand new Food Lion, you were blinded, right? The older ones weren't that bad. Not the most pleasant mix, but that's because they let the reds fade. Hmm. Nope, too dark. There was a place in North Carolina, a tire shop, and all ego. Oh, that's good news, Red. This tire shop, somebody in the family had a baby. Oh, they were so proud of that baby. And everybody, you got a baby, you got a right to be proud. and good luck. But they decided that the best picture for their tire shop was to stick the baby in a pile of tires. Now, mind you, to be able to tell it was a baby while you're driving down the road meant that baby had to be a lot bigger than you would anticipate. It got lost in the tires. It was one of the dumbest billboards, but not the worst. There was another one that wanted to tell you their whole life story on the billboard, and they just did not want to take advice, saying, people are driving while they're seeing the billboard. You need to get your message across like that. Like, boom, your most effective message is big block letters, because people will see it. They will read it, and they don't have to think twice about it and look for the text. But some of them were so convoluted. Script here and regular type there and different font there, another font there. And then they would fight to make sure that the color was a perfect Pantone match. It's like, I need this shade. It has to be this shade. It's like you're picking out a shade of orange or red, which in 24 hours after being put up is not going to be the same, because those are the first colors to fade in the sun. And the sun in North Carolina is kind of fierce. So you get the idea of what they're up against. People who just see they want their thing on the billboard because they're paying for that billboard, and they try to get everything, every idea on that one billboard. But they're the ones that don't make an impact, other than, what the hell did we just see? I got 2 words on that as I'm driving by. Advertising art is totally different from art. And also different from no, the baby didn't die. They wanted the baby in the billboard picture to help advertise a tire company. So they put the baby in the tires and took a picture. But the baby was as a little toddler, and the tires are huge. So, okay, you're getting the picture of this tiny baby. They had to enlarge the baby to make it look like it was a baby, because as you're driving by, that little whitish looking thing that was in the tires didn't make sense. Nobody expects an infant to be inside automobile tires. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's no connection from a baby. It wasn't like they were advertising a softer ride with those tires or anything else. There was nothing about that. It was like, really? Why don't you let my husband design this for you instead of your wife? But you know how it is. The customer's always right, even when they're completely wrong. What color is hardest for a red? I can't see red. Reds are brown. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It was popular. My husband was forced to put that on a billboard. He had to design their billboard. But not really design it. He just had to make it fit the format. They decided what they wanted. And no matter how much the owner of the company tried to talk him into some sense, well, you know, ego. Now he also, okay, his company did billboard ads all over the South. They did McDonald's and Burger King. And those billboards used to get rolled up and mailed to Florida. So his stuff was all over the damn place. Not that you can sign your billboards, you know, it's not about the artist, it's about the company doing the billboard. Now, one name you see on those billboards all over the South is Lamar. Lamar, I don't know if they're doing any of their own printing. Lamar owns the rigs that they put the billboards on. That's why you see billboards with the big Lamar sign on it. They own it. And then other people have to lease the billboard. Sometimes people have more of a connection to wallpaper paste. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Gara. I know some people who have a personality that can be compared more to wallpaper paste than wallpaper. Definitely using the wrong brush, but we're going to be putting some stuff over this, so it's not going to matter. After it's dry, we're going to be doing more paper stuff tomorrow. Okay, I see another message. Let me check the message. Okay, dokie. My son and I are meeting for a movie later this month. Yeah, it's a company that they own more rigs than anybody else in the South. So when you own the billboards, it means you built the billboard. And if you build it, you have to before you build it, you either have to own or rent the land that billboard is going to go on. So you might have a billboard that you love, but if somebody decides to stop renting it to you, then they lost the billboard and they have to take it down and nobody can use it. And sometimes you see them abandoned that way. Like Lamar have some old ones that are made out of wood, but they're too dangerous to climb anymore. So they're just rotting in the sun. Lamar was the biggest competitor. My husband's, not my husband's company, the one he worked for. Well, they did, Maui. They came and they went, and they did not make enough money on that rig to go ahead and rebuild it with metal and make it safe. So it's just something you watch the kudzu grow up and over. Becomes a prop for kudzu. For those of you who know what kudzu is, for those who don't, just ask or look it up. Kudzu is a wonderful plant. However, it's terrible in the South because it just runs like crazy, spreads like wildfire, and buries the South. I mean, like literally, it buries the South. Everywhere kudzu grows without being taken care of on any property that nobody's watching, swallows whole houses. It completely covers trees, poles, farm equipment, farms. They disappear under kudzu. But there's one thing kudzu cannot stand up to, and that is frost. At the first hint of frost, kudzu starts to disappear. Oh yeah, he made money on that too. Yeah, they own them in different areas. So, yeah, Lamar is all over the South. You know, I don't know. They might own some California rigs too, now that I think about it. I can't remember now. The billboards in California were going through some major changes when I was there. Their billboards were like 3 billboards in one. So you're driving, you're looking at a billboard, and while you're watching it, it moves. And just like, you know, like a Jeopardy board or something, you know, where the numbers move or the letters move, the billboard moves in strips, and you can see the next billboard. So they can rent out the same rig to 3 different advertisers, which is phenomenally good use of that kind of space. They're also doing them now where they are digital. Those are not Lamar. I forget who is doing the digital ones, but the digital ones are programmed by the company itself, and they're changed without having to do any painting or printing, which is ideal. Yep, with a K. Kudzu is a wonderful plant if you know what to do with it. Kudzu is edible. The leaves are boiled and treated like any green vegetable. The flowers smell like grape and make a jelly, a beautiful lavender jelly that actually reduces the desire for alcohol. It was being used by people in AA to help reduce the desire to drink. And the vines themselves make wonderful baskets. So there's a lot of good uses for kudzu, but instead of just using them like it should be, people, oh yes, and the root. Kudzu powder is like arrowroot powder or cornstarch. You dig up the root, and the root can be as big as a man, and or bigger. It takes a lot. No, anything but poison. It's a really good food. And when you see how it grows, the only people who don't want it is if it grows over their property, or if they have food they're selling and they don't want you getting the free stuff. Nothing about kudzu is owns a what? Is that 8,000? The number is blocked on my chat here. What's he growing? The man doesn't stay still. Doesn't stay still. He drove Jane Fonda crazy because he wouldn't stay still. She wanted to settle down. He was like, no, gotta do this now. That's very exciting, but you get to a certain point in your life, you just want time out. And that's what happened for her. The 8,800 acre plantation. Holy mackerel. I agree, Doc. I've seen what on the Twilight Zone? Kudzu? I never saw that on the... Okay, first let's get you... If you're going to look this up, look it up right. That's what we're talking about. And if you look at the Wikipedia page, I'm sure you will find even recipes. The South brought it in to stop erosion because of the sandy and clay soil going into the water. Every time a creek rises, the soil goes in. So they thought the kudzu, because it grows so quickly, would put its roots in, because it works like that in Japan. The problem is Japan already knew to eat it. Japan knew to gather the roots. Japan was using all of the plant. Americans planted it and just said, fuck it, and walked away from it, figuring it's going to do its thing. But unfortunately, when it does its thing, it's also spreading like crazy. So it spread over their property. Nobody ate it. Nobody cut it down except to kill it. Nobody took advantage of all of the good stuff that the Japanese already knew to do with it. So for the Japanese, that is a good plant. And for Americans who don't know what to do with it, it's the devil itself. Yes, exactly, exactly. I remember my landlord saying, oh God, and I let him know that I saw kudzu growing on Green River. And the Green River part that I was talking about, if you went through the Green River game land and you just kept going, you ended up on our property. So if I just went through my woods and just kept going, I'd go right down to the river. So it was growing there, which meant it wasn't that far. If it jumped maybe 50 feet of sandy embankment, then it would be crawling through our forest. But then, like I said, first sign of frost, it's over. Okay, 8,800 acres, that's a huge piece of property. Sorry he is open for hunting, but good that there's bison. What happened to my little pad? And let's take this one off. Is this the one you wanted, Gary? It's really not. I'll hold it up to the thing. It's not as cool. Well, it's cool because I'm making it more dimensional. Dun, 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 dun. See, toilet paper is a wonderful thing. My landlord was frantic. He was so afraid that the kudzu was going to end up on his property. He could have used it, but like I said, if you're not using it as a viable plant for your survival, if your diet, it can go crazy. If you're not taking care of it, it's going to just go wild very quickly, and that is what Southerners feared the most. But that's their own fault. They should never have told people it was poisonous. What was the name of the episode? I never saw. I mean, I used to watch The Twilight Zone and Outer Limits, and I don't remember kudzu being a subject. Was it a subject or just an incidental thing in that episode? Or is this a new Twilight Zone, not the one we grew up with? Because I can see modern people doing that, turning it into a nightmare. The kudzu is actually a tasty green. It's just you boil them. The drawback to working with kudzu is you need to wear gloves when you harvest it, because it doesn't have thorns, but it's got an irritating fuzziness that you want to wipe off. Oak Hill Plantain. Yeah, I thought he was more of a conservationist. You used to love watching wrestling? Oh, not me. When my father wanted to watch wrestling, it was so he could point out to me all of the places it was bullshit. Still, he watched it now and then. I just went to bed. Hey, did you hear that Jesse Ventura is so angry with our current administration? He's considering running again. He said he only served one term. He deserves another. He has one that, you know, they owe him if he wants it. So who knows? Was it like Swamp Thing? The Twilight Zone one? I've only seen the Swamp Thing in a comic book. Are you getting the details, Maui? Let me ask. Come here, computer. Computer! Which episode of The Twilight Zone featured kudzu? Based on search results, there's no specific episode of The Twilight Zone noted for featuring kudzu. Episodes listed in search results include Stopover in a Quiet Town, The Encounter, and The Jungle, but none are identified as having a plot focused on this invasive vine. So, which was it? Touched by an Angel. Touched by an Angel, Touched by an Angel. Was that Michael Landon? And yes, run for governor. He was already a governor once. Talking about considering doing it again because we need honest Democrats supporting the Constitution in office everywhere. See, I did not have a television at the time that series came out, but I did, like I said, when I used to do card readings, I used to go to people's houses, and that's actually when I saw most television, when I was visiting other people. I heard about that, Doc. I had not seen it. So I remember seeing a few. Oh no, that was Highway to Heaven. That was Michael Landon, right? No, I don't think I've seen Touched by an Angel. I might have gotten them confused. Like I said, I didn't have a television, so I didn't have a TV guide, so I didn't watch multiples of things. I would go to somebody's house and do the readings, then we'd sit around, get stoned, and watch TV for an hour or two, and then I'd go home. So, yeah, that was a long time ago. A very long time ago. Like, I was still in New York when I was doing that. Okay, Gary. So there it is. It's just got to finish drying. And then I'll take a picture of it if that's what you still want. And we didn't really finish anything else today, did we? I did a background, began a background. It looks bizarre, but it'll be better when I add the texture. And let's see. I guess all I've got left to do now is make dinner. It was not a good one? Really? Well, I'm glad I didn't see it then. Disappointing. It sounds like that Stranger Things, which I have not seen any episodes of. It sounds like that's kind of Twilight Zone-y. Am I right? Or creepier than Twilight Zone. Kind of Twilight Zone crossed with, what's the other bizarre one? Outer Limits. Which could be pretty good if I watched TV. And I do have Netflix. I have the poor people's version because I don't watch that much either. Jessica, hello. I know, isn't that a drag? Because they live on the TV. Excuse me. I mean, I saw TV growing up, like everybody else. Watched the moon landing, watched a whole bunch of things. But on my own, the first time I bought a TV, it was for my boyfriend. Because he needed a TV. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess you can watch it when I'm not here. And I got this big old fashioned, in a wooden cabinet kind of a thing, but I don't think I ever got it connected to much. I don't remember because I never watched it. I didn't care. It's like, you want to watch it? Do what you gotta do. Watch it. There you go. TV. Boom. And when we broke up, I got rid of the TV. It's like, I don't need this. Oh, good. I'm glad. I haven't seen it at all, Doc. The closest I got to Stranger Things so far was I bought a frozen pizza that for some reason was connected to Stranger Things. It was on sale, so I got a pepperoni pizza. And the strangest thing about that was all the pepperoni was on one side of the pizza, and the rest was just cheese. So I had to, even it out. Because the amount of pepperoni on one side was, it wouldn't have cooked right anyway. So I threw some extra stuff on it and then moved all that over. Oh, okay, Gary. I'll send you a copy of I'll send you the photo. You never. I'm sorry. You never were as. All right. First of all, some of your words are out of my reading range. I got you never ached, touched by an angel. I do not know what you mean. I have absolutely been connected with angels, that which we call angels. Well, thank God they're still doing stuff on YouTube. Yeah, we owe that to our current piece of shit president. Getting rid of PBS. He's just gotten blocked from going after stopping help to blue states. Specifically, he's trying to kill Democrats. But that's also Stephen Miller's idea, to kill 230 million Americans or deport them so he can have just 100 million white people in this country. Stranger Things is reminiscent of the 80s. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that's true enough. PBS is very important, and we will bring it back. Consider it on hiatus. It will return. It will return. Not everything is lost. Also, Jessica, I'm inviting you to send me an email at callmegalen so I can tell you something I am starting locally. Yes, that's what he thinks it is. He doesn't understand why we aren't going along for the ride. He's got the right plans, and the rest of us are screwed in the head because we don't get it. No, the cold-blooded murder that we witnessed this week, 3 of them, 1 filmed. No, we're done. No, not the country. We're done with this administration. As individuals, we're done. So, matter of fact, I think, well, I did that on Facebook. There's a wonderful video here about history of what it took for us to rebel against the crown and how that worked. Yes. You got it. So, tomorrow is Sunday. And Sunday, I am here from 10:30 to noon. Sometimes I go past noon, depending on conversation. But usually now, although I used to start all my shows at 10:30 in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, it's now extremely dead at that time of day. But I have reserved that for years on Sundays, so that no matter what else I'm doing during the week, or if I have to move my plans around, like doctor appointments come up or things like that. So I make Sunday in stone. I don't want to do anything to miss a Sunday. Everything else during the week, it's flexible when I get here. Home time. I saw a bunch of that in the South, so I didn't really. I didn't want to watch that on TV anyway. And I did not watch anything. There was no TV when I was tiny. TV did not come until later. Well, okay, there was black and white TV. It was very expensive. It was a big deal when my grandparents got one. But we, my father, mother, and me, we could not afford our own TV. Antique Roadshow, I think I've only seen in videos online, I think. I never watched Sesame Street. That wasn't even a thing when I was a kid. You have to work tomorrow? Well, c'est la vie, right? But I'll be back during the week. I promised to do some stuff for the building, and so I've got a letter to write on behalf of a bunch of us here at the building to the manager, actually to the owner of the building, and that's kind of important. Also, I promised, yeah, same here, Doc, same here, Red. This is like my TV station, definitely. Because I only have so much time to be a watcher. Usually I have comfort shows on, like comfort food, when I'm cooking. When I'm in the kitchen, I put on something usually I've already heard, like Big Bang Theory, there's 12 seasons, 7 seasons of The Golden Girls, etc., etc., etc. Things that are old-timey for me, and I can just let it play, and it's like hearing friends' voices in the background, except I don't talk to them. I'm not that kind of neurotic. But it's here. I mean, whatever I can't find that I already own, I can find here, and I'm fine. Like I said, I've only got so much time. One series I did watch and loved was Wednesday. Couldn't wait for the second season to come out. But because I'm a binge watcher, I did not watch a single episode in the second season until the final was posted. Once all the episodes were up, I watched the first season again and then did the second season. And I really loved it. Well, don't worry, because they are, thank you, Jessica. I will get back to you on the morrow and explain. YouTube, not them specifically, but what's happening now is AI is creating the internet, recreating the internet for itself, not for us. It's no longer going to be human geared, it's AI geared to make it easier for them to track and their new algorithms, whatever they're doing anyway. It's basically they're taking over the systems. Oh, you do that, Jessica, with what I just said about Wednesday, watching the whole, making sure it's all there. Oh, binge watching, yeah. Yeah, I own all 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory. I started watching them just as my marriage was ending, and my anxiety levels were through the roof, and I couldn't sleep past 3 a.m. because I'd wake up to go to the bathroom and realize who was sleeping next to me and wanted to kill him. Well, no, I wanted to cut all his hair off. That would have been worse. But that would have resulted in me being dead, so I didn't do it. but I couldn't sleep. And a friend sent me a Kindle, and the first season or something, he hooked me up with The Big Bang Theory, and I found myself laughing at 3 in the morning. I would just take it downstairs and put the headphones on and watch. When I was laughing in the middle of my hell, I knew I had a winner, so I became a big fan, and I bought as they were. I came in on the 6th or 7th season, so it was already like halfway done, and I started all over. I bought the first season, and actually the person who sent me the Kindle sent me a $100 gift certificate so I can buy some stuff to watch on the Kindle. So it was a great gift. No, no, that won't happen, Doc. I'm not worried about that at all. I never watch cop shows, hate cop shows. No Law and Order, no detective, no murder mysteries, fuck all of them. I need no extra tension in my life, and all of that is artificial tension that is designed to rev up your nervous system and make you more susceptible to the advertising on the show. That is literally what it's all about. It's nothing to do with what you like. It's all about getting you to keep glued to the station so that they can advertise to you. TV only exists to advertise, just like YouTube. Have you noticed the quality of some of the ads here? When I watch these ads, I want to scream at them. It's like, how could anybody be that stupid? But they are, and they do, and they keep buying the crap and the bullshit. I mean, how many times have you come across something, I was deaf until I learned to hit a spoon behind my ear? It's like, what? Yeah, keep watching. Yeah, right. They didn't figure this out, so everybody's walking around with hearing aids because nobody knew to hit themselves with a spoon. Oh, that's funny. Well, I was wide awake for season 2, and I can't wait for season 3. And I'm sure it's because it is written like, well, look who's doing the writing. 2 great guys. So, good production, great actors. I love it. And I'm a person who hates anything gory. I don't like gore. I don't like suggested gore. I was amazed that I watched some of that stuff, but it was so well done. I didn't get grossed out or freaked out. I just enjoyed it. I look for happy endings. I look for comedy. I look for musical comedies. I look for musicals. I look for happy because I know whatever we watch, we are programming ourselves with. And I want my programming to support me health-wise, emotion-wise, creating my future-wise. And I already know if I keep watching nerve-wracking crap, I am setting up my nervous system not for the best outcomes. I'm more likely to get sick. I'm more likely to suffer emotional disturbances or bad dreams or loss of sleep because all of that stuff is just hiking up your adrenaline levels, and that's not what I need. Well, you might want to try it the second season. Just watch the first one again and get reminded of all the characters and situations, and then go into the second one. Oh, I know. I know they're terrible. I don't do anything on Facebook, so I don't see any ads on Facebook. Fuck Facebook. No, I realize that we're going to have to commit our time to one platform or another eventually. I have honed mine down, and no, Google is not an angel, but this is where I'm at. I'm on YouTube. This is the channel I'm supporting. This is the one that my energy is going into right now. But if I can't figure out what's wrong with the broadcasting on mobile, we will also look for another channel to broadcast on. There are others. They're smaller. I don't care. I have never been about the numbers. I always said for the last 18 years, if you need me, you'll find me. And if you don't need me, there's millions of others. Oh, I saw that twice. I love that. Oh, no, not Will and Grace. I have seen a bunch of clips from Will and Grace. Leslie was freaking hilarious. That was sad that he passed. It was actually him passing that brought that whole thing to my attention, because after he passed, they started posting more clips of him. And he was hilarious. But no, what I was thinking, it was Grace and Frankie. I loved that series as well. I love Lily Tomlin. But, like I said, well, if I'm watching something new, I'm mesmerized. It's new information, and I will sit there. I have to watch it. So when I watched, like, Wednesday for the first time, all eyes, all attention, even if I was eating or playing Scrabble in the background, because my version of Netflix has commercials, but I have not found them to be too bad. Except if I see a pharmaceutical commercial, off it goes. I will not sit through a pharmaceutical commercial. I think it should be against the law that pharmaceutical companies are able to advertise to the masses at all. I think that's disgusting. It's also like nobody else in the world does that, pushing drugs that only doctors can prescribe on TV. So no, screw them. I won't back them up. So I will just hang up on YouTube. I mean, anybody. I see a pharmaceutical ad, off it goes. I will change what I'm doing. I have no problem doing that. I want the message to get across that I don't approve of it, and the only way you can show that you don't approve of it, aside from complain, which is mostly a waste of time because they're the ones paying for the ad, I make sure they see the algorithm, sees me shut it off in record time. It's like, poop, nope, gone. Always need me. He was. Definitely, he left a legacy. Nobody can fill his little shoes. Those were some of the funniest scenes I've ever seen. They're very, very good. I love that sarcasm and that frenemy relationship he has with Grace. That is Grace that he is arguing with all the time, or telling off. Or they're always one-upping each other. Very funny. I saw the clip where he was really, really loaded and he confessed to being a homosexual in his southern accent. That was funny. Like nobody ever guessed that before. Good characters, good acting, funny show. What I saw, like I said, I have never seen an episode start to finish. I don't think. I've seen clips. Some of them were longer than others, but just clips. And tonight, I don't know what I'm watching. I have been on a Bewitched, the 60s Bewitched. I've been watching, I think I just finished season 1, started season 2, for cooking. And I just have to cook dinner tonight, which is going to be easy. I have so much good stuff to eat. I did defrost some chicken bits, so I'm going to cook them up. And I got some fresh potatoes, so I will smash up some potatoes. So potatoes and chicken and some kind of a vegetable. I do love my veg. Oh, I look so old and yet young. Now my sister had a top that looked, I look just like my sister in this, Maui. My baby sister, the one I don't talk to. Well, I don't talk to the 2 younger ones. They're not bad people, I just don't. Oh, this is a hand-painted one. This is what it looks like when you use the oil paint pencils. Hand-painted was the in thing because they were black and white back then. That looks very much like the colorization at my mom's old photos. Oh, that's right, Karen Walker. That's the one. Like I said, I didn't see the actual series. I just saw the clips, but yeah, him fighting with Karen Walker, that was really freaking hilarious. I don't even know what Karen Walker's role in the show was, or really his, other than two interacting, was hilarious. Well done, well done. And now, how long have I been here? Too long, too long. Okay. It's time to go. I'll see you so. Not until tomorrow. I'll be back. And you, Gary, I won't see you until the next time you have a day off. I will take a picture of this in a minute. When I go offline, I will take a picture and just zip it on over to you. So anything else before I go? What a name, Beverly Leslie. I know I did not like the new Darren. I bought a couple seasons with him. I think I owned 7 seasons. But yeah, I did not like the new Darren. The chemistry was no longer there. Thank you so much for being here, Jessica. I'll be back tomorrow. Love, love, love. Let love always walk before us. Yes? Yes. Until tomorrow, my darlings. I will use this magic machine to turn this off.